Good morning, America is a registered trademark of the Walt Disney Corporation, all rights reserved, and between 7 and 8 a.m. on weekdays. I'm not supposed to say that, but I'm a rebel. What do you do? Happy Monday, 29th day of June, 2020. That's right, June's just got 2 more days left. Come Wednesday, we are into July. Come Saturday, it is Independence Day. Whew. Summer's flying by. Well, summer's not flying by. We got a lot of summer to go. Although Mother Nature is going to say, well, wait a minute, we're going to have a little bit of everything this week. We're going to have a little spike in the temperature, going to bump up there to about 86 or 87 for the afternoon high, and it's going to go right back down again. Still have that very deep trough of low pressure that's still affecting our weather and will for the vast majority of this week. But a lot of people want to know, what's the holiday going to be like? What's the weekend going to be like? A lot of people have a 3-day weekend with Independence Day on a Saturday. They're going to sandwich that around a Friday or a Monday or maybe even both. Right now, weekend looks pretty good. Sunshine, warm but not hot, and very little wind. So our forecast details are coming up. A lot of news to get to. It was a busy news weekend. We're going to talk some wildfires and a few little odds and ends as well, and some COVID news, as you might imagine. We actually have sports highlights. Get out of town. Yeah, Saturday night at the WVSO opening night. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning opening night at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. Our cameras were there. We got highlights for you and everything else you're used to get your day going. And at the back half of the hour, we have Jefferson Robbins sit down with Dr. Malcolm Butler, who's with Columbia Valley Community Health and the Chelan Douglas Health District. And we're talking about masks. It's the big thing now. Dr. Malcolm Butler and his conversation with Jefferson Robbins will air in the back half of the program. A little chilly, 61 degrees. It was a cooler than normal weekend. But as I mentioned, we're going to jump up real quickly and then drop right back down again by the middle of the week. Forecast details are coming up. Let's do our tour around north central Washington with our Valley View cameras. I don't see a cloud in the sky from our cross camera overlooking the valley proper. It was not a particularly warm weekend. In fact, well below normal. 77 our high on Saturday. 74 was all we got to on Sunday. Our normal high about 82 or 83, so it was a little cooler than normal. It's going to be quite breezy today, but there's no red flag warning because it's not hot enough. We'll talk about that, of course, in detail. Sunrise this morning was at 5:07, sunset tonight at 9:01, so sunrise a little bit later, sunset a little bit earlier. 15 hours and 54 minutes of daylight is still plenty for most people. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley. Megan gets to choose from this point forward. I take a look and I guess. Sometimes I'm really good at guessing, and sometimes I'm not so good. This is, I'm not so good. That's the Valley Eye camera. It's okay, well, you moved it on me. I guess that is Blewett Pass down there a little bit. I can't remember. Good morning, Valley High. It's good to see you on their way up to the summit of Blewett Pass. I bet you everybody's breathing a lot easier now that the 3-week manhunt ended a couple of weeks ago for the man wanted for a possible homicide. They haven't found the body yet. They are pretty confident that this turkey hunter was homicided, for lack of a better term, but they can't find his body yet. Keeping a close eye on that. Camera number 3, where are we off to, Megan? Let's see. Let me look. I'm seeing a trail. I'm seeing foothills. I know we have a camera up number 1 Canyon. Is that number 1 Canyon? Oh, that's the McNeil Canyon. Wow, it looks a lot like the foothills of Wenatchee, doesn't it? So that's the McNeil McNeil Canyon camera. Easy for me to say. That's a ways up from where I thought we were. Sometimes we have that pointed towards Lake Chelan a little bit. Good morning to our friends to the north of us. Of course, they had a fire at a couple of fires over the weekend. One at Daroga State Park and one at Stamen Flats up north. We'll talk about that. Camera 4. We are off to see, that looks to be Blag Mountain. Yeah, I finally got one right. Blag Mountain, high above Leavenworth. And I got some sad news for you. I mentioned this right now. I'm going to mention it again during the news. But Oktoberfest, the first 3 weekends in October in Leavenworth, canceled. There will be no Oktoberfest this year. Again, it's usually the first 3 weekends in October. So this year will be like the 2nd and the 3rd, and then the 10th and the 11th, whatever. Not going to happen this year. No Oktoberfest in Leavenworth. Get that out of the way. Sorry to bring the harbinger of bad news 5 minutes after the hour. 61 degrees, couple of slides to show you to get your day going. These are your forecast high temperatures today, and again, considerably warmer today than it was over the weekend. We're looking at 87 degrees for the Wenatchee Valley. The farther east you go or the farther north you go, it's going to be a little bit cooler. But this is an anomaly because this this big trough of low pressure it came down over the weekend, and it's going to be hanging around pretty much all week long until we get to Thursday, and then it's going to start leaving the area Thursday night, and we're in for a very pleasant weekend. But temperatures outside of today are going to be below normal, and unfortunately, we're looking at windy conditions again today. It's been a windy spring and a windy summer, so across portions of our viewing area today and tomorrow, going to be windy. So once again, the potential for the rapid spread of a grass fire is certainly heightened. If you're going to be on an area, lake or river, it could be a little on the choppy side. Now, in order to get a red flag warning, it's got to be very windy, very low relative humidity, and hot. Well, we're going to be windy, but the relative humidity is going to hang around 50% or so, and it's not going to be nearly warm enough. So we're not looking at a red flag warning, but certainly if a grass fire gets going and we're off to an early season on that, things could get a little dicey again today, tomorrow, and really spilling into Wednesday before we calm down. So yeah, going to be windy again today. The wind will be picking up in intensity later on this afternoon. So that's a look-see at what we're looking at. And now in detail from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, who gives your home a hug. Here's your forecast from the National Weather Service. Again, right around 87 or 88 for our high today. So temperature is going to be considerably warmer than it was over the weekend. But again, and it's going to be breezy, as you see there. Wind about 9 to 14 miles an hour. It'll be picking up in intensity this afternoon between 15 and 20 miles an hour. Gusts near 30 at times. Clear skies right around 60 for the overnight low tonight. Still a little breezy. Northwest wind about 10 to 17 miles an hour tonight. We do it all over again on Tuesday. The big difference is it's going to be considerably cooler as this low pressure system continues to move down from the north. So we're only going to top off about 80 degrees. Again, windy all day tomorrow, with gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. Tuesday night, clear, 57 for the overnight low, still windy, but eventually the winds will be decreasing in the overnight hours Tuesday night into Wednesday. Wednesday is the first day of July. Partly sunny and a high of 77 degrees. That's below normal. Mostly sunny Thursday, high of 81. That's when we really start turning the table. Friday, sunshine, 86 for Independence Day. Saturday, our, 244th birthday. Is that right on Saturday? Sunshine, 88 degrees, very little wind, so it looks right now like the holiday weekend is going to be very nice indeed once we get through this influence of that trough that's coming in and hanging around. So again, kind of an anomaly today with a high of 88. Then we drop down to below normal temperatures on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Windy today, windy Tuesday, little leftover wind on Thursday, and then the heat up begins. Not particularly hot, just warm. Looks good to me. I can live with that. I remember any number of Independence Day celebrations when it was just plain hot. Not going to be the case this year, we hope. 8 minutes after the hour, going to take a break and come back with an adult portion of news. A lot of news to get to. We'll get to that in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, Site Coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
61 degrees at 10 minutes after the hour on this Monday. A nice, pleasant, warm day today, but quite a bit of wind. Highs will be right around 87 or 88 degrees. Windy tonight, considerably cooler Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then we warm back up again just in time for the holiday weekend. Let's talk about your headlines this morning. Firefighters were able to contain 2 separate wind whip brush fires Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening south of Chelan. The biggest of the fires was at Daroga State Park On the Douglas County side of the Columbia River, that forced the shutdown of Highway 97 for more than 4 hours on Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. That fire, about 19 miles south of Chelan, also burned a power pole, and that knocked out power to about 570 Douglas County PUD customers. In the Orondo area, power was restored to about half of those customers by about 10 o'clock in the evening on Saturday. The remainder, about midnight, they got their power back. The Daroga State Park fire burned in an area between the park's campground and the highway. Then it jumped the highway and ignited some trees. It was first reported about 4:30 on Saturday afternoon. The highway was shut down about an hour later. It wasn't reopened until about 9:45 on Saturday afternoon. As crews were fighting that fire, another brush fire was reported on the other side of the river in the Stamen Flats area of Chelan County. Chelan Fire and Rescue said winds pushed the fire into rocky hillside terrain that made it easier, as you might imagine, to contain. Rocks don't burn very well. The National Weather Service said its nearest wind measurement site in Aniat recorded gusts up at 45 miles an hour during that fire. Numerous local, state, and federal firefighting agencies fought the fires both on the ground and in the air. Rescuers say a father and a son are lucky to be alive. Their float tube tipped over in treacherous waters on Thursday afternoon to the Wenatchee River at Leavenworth, but they were able to negotiate several rapids and they pulled themselves to safety. Chelan County Fire District 3 says the 56-year-old father and his 10-year-old son overturned as they tried to exit from the river near Barn Beach. They were swept downstream to a point just above what's known as Boulder Bend, which is a very hazardous area that only experienced paddlers should try this time of the year. The father, who's 56 years old, managed to put his son back on the tube, but he himself was left in the water and buffeted by the rapids until he was able to pull himself up on the riverbank, and neither was wearing a flotation device. Both refused medical treatment. Assistant Chief Glenn Barrasett says the risk of river accidents this time of the year is very high.
The river is extremely dangerous right now at high levels of water. Not to mention, we've seen a lot of people that are out in the river with no life jackets on. This is the second river rescue incident that we've had in the last week. The one that occurred last Friday ended up being a fatality, unfortunately.
Yeah, that fatal accident involved 65-year-old Allison Berman of Leavenworth. She died after a June 19th paddleboard accident in which she fell into the Wenatchee River and was trapped by a snag near Blackburn Island. A bystander was able to reach her, but only after she'd been underwater for several minutes. Berman died in hospital care last Monday. A motorcyclist had to be transported to Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee after he collided with a deer on Highway 97 early Friday morning. Washington State Patrol Trooper John Bryant said passing motorists found 67-year-old James Featherstone of Chelan and his 2004 BMW R1200 in the middle of the highway about 2:12 in the morning, and the badly injured deer nearby. By the time a trooper arrived, Featherstone was up and walking around, but complaining of neck pain and back pain. Bryant said the deer had to be dispatched by a trooper. In addition to the State Patrol, around firefighters and medical aid crews responded to the wreck about 6 miles south of the Beebe Bridge. Bruce Buckles, the Director of Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington, will lead the Chelan Douglas Health District as its interim administrator with the retirement of longtime Chief Barry Kling. The Chelan Douglas Board of Health voted Friday to accept Buckles, who's 65 years old, after he was interviewed by 3 board members on Thursday. Kling, who's led the district since 2003, announced his retirement last week after friction developed over a lawsuit brought by some board members to end the state's COVID-19 state of emergency. At Aging and Adult Care, Buckles oversees social services for some 10,000 senior citizens in a 6-county area. He plans to take a leave of absence from that job to lead the health agency while it searches for a permanent director, and it continues to deal with the COVID-19 crisis. At the health district, Buckles will earn $9,250 a month. One of the jewels of the greater Wenatchee landscape is Omi Gardens. Of course, is closed for the season because of the coronavirus concerns, but some special guests are hanging around. The gardens rented about 300 goats last week to help clear brush on their property to the west of Omi Gardens. Goats and their huge appetites have become rather popular. They're a very popular way of making an area less vulnerable to wildfires. Of course, in Wenatchee, we saw them being used in the wake of the 2015 Sleepy Hollow fire to consume fire-prone vegetation around neighborhoods in the foothills. Speaking of wildfires, 50 years after it scorched 122,000 acres of wildland, the famous Entiat burn is being studied and providing answers about fire recovery. That fire struck back in August of 1970, threatened the town of Ardenvore. It also became the subject of the short film Wildfire, which was released in 1971. A new study from the U.S. Forest Service Pacific Northwest Research Station finds that areas in the burn zone that were salvage logged and seeded over the last 40 years showed less soil erosion and runoff than areas that were left to recover on their own. The researchers say there's many reasons that could be true, and there are endless possibilities for further study. Pybus Public Market says its 4th of July artisan event is on this year, but it'll be held outdoors and with COVID-19 precautions in place. Local craftspeople will set up on the outdoor plaza at the market. Guests can enter a mask decorating contest to win gift certificates from Pybus, and all the shops and restaurants inside the market will be open with health restrictions. Of course, the event will run on Independence Day from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And finally, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, officials made the call yesterday. Oktoberfest in Leavenworth, the first 3 weekends in October in the Bavarian Village. Oktoberfest has been canceled this year. And that is a look at news at 17 minutes after the hour. Grant Olson will be back in the anchor chair tonight. I don't believe we have a preview. Is that correct, Megan? But Grant Olson will be back from vacation. Jefferson Robbins gets to sleep in. And if you have a news tip or you want to drop us a line, we welcome you to do just exactly that. You can go to our Facebook page and use Facebook Messenger and drop us a line and say hi. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com, or if you have a news tip or want to drop us a line, if you go to our website, ncwlife.com, you'll see the Contact Us icon. Click on it. Drop us a note. We'd love to hear from you. Going to take a break in 1 minute. We have sports, and we actually have local sports to talk about. I kid you not. We're going racing from Saturday night. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up on Edgy Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
We have returned at 19 minutes after the hour. We have sports. We actually have sports to talk about today. For the first time this year, racing Saturday at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. It was Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning opening night. Of course, there weren't any fans there, but our cameras were there. Eric Granstrom was there. Greg Rentz was there to call the play-by-play. Here are your highlights.
John Doyle is driving away to cash the check, but it is a battle for second here coming down the backstretch. John Doyle is going to come by and win the season opener here at Wenatchee as they come off turn number 4. It's going to be number 4 getting second.
John Doyle, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. A lot of fun. Good to be back on the track.
Talk about this one for you tonight. For the evening, you get second place in your heat race. Talk about the 71 car for you.
Well, it's been a great car. We've been out here practicing a couple nights, and it was my son's car 2 years ago. So last year was my first year, and it's starting to figure out what I'm doing.
We were kind of joking a little bit. That heat race, you must have felt like the elder statesman out there.
Yes, I do. This is feeling a bit old, but I'm having a blast.
What a start and a return to the Thunder Cars. This will be Cameron Doyle has also gotten around our team grind here, but off of turn number 4, 1 for 1 in the Thunder Cars this season. Seth Frazier wins the opener. Osborne second. Mike Knutson going to pull away and looking like he's going to wrap up third. But Seth Frazier, solid run out of the 14, quickest all day, and he picks it up with a win here tonight.
Seth, congratulations. How did it feel?
Thanks. It was a fun night of racing. It's weird not having any fans up there, but it was a lot of fun.
So you want to say hi to anyone? We've got a whole ton of people that are watching us on TV and on the Facebook right now.
Well, I'm sure there's millions out there watching right now, but I need a big shout out to Ken Osborne for sponsoring us and with Dick's Heating Air Conditioning, and we also over the off season we lost a few racers here from up here. Tommy Wentz, he was someone we all knew and my family raced with for years, so we'll miss seeing Tommy around. And this week we lost Bob Patty, who was another legend of the Northwest, and then actually I lost my Uncle Donnie this week, so it's a good tribute this week for all of them. So
checker flag is out. Allie Mae Jones, a winner at Wenatchee. She wins the Bandolero main event at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. Battle for the 4th position as well as Kelly DeMont to the inside. Mullins will hang on for 3rd, but here's the side-by-side battle coming to you from 4th. Give it to Dumont, the Montana driver, gets past McKenna Lutz.
Tell me, what was the difference here for you tonight?
I don't know, it's my first race, so I was just super excited.
Now, there's a lot of folks that are wondering, how old is this girl?
13.
13? So what do you tell your classmates about this kind of adventure?
I don't really tell them. Like
You don't?
my close friends know, but like not a lot of my friends know. Well, like my other classmates.
So you came over here from Puyallup. Who's with you on this trip?
My brother, my mom, and my dad.
Okay. So you came over to the Super Oval and you showed these guys how to do it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Mike Knutson out in front, trying to get around lap traffic right now. He's in the number 51 car. Terry Halverson in second place, giving chase. He's got some lap traffic in front of him as well. Look out.
Coleman got hit behind by Knutson, and I saw the hood flap up on the 51. The 51 has some damage. That's not good for the rest of the way. Mike, 51. Glenn, 16. The brothers Knutson dueling. Terry Halverson not going away, though. He's right there if something happens with the brothers. Here comes Glenn to the outside.
It's a Quincy clash here tonight at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. Brother, side by side.
9 to go. Here comes Glenn to the outside. Got the run off turn 2. Mike tries to shut the door. Big slide out of Mike Knutson. Glenn's going to lead the lap. And clear. Glenn Knutson back out front. Spin out in front. It's Gary Shales. Caution is out. Eric, this changes everything. Gary Shales spun it around in turn number 4, and with 5 laps to go.
Oh my gosh. He's going to make a sprint to the finish.
Oh my goodness. A 5-lap shootout coming up at Wenatchee. Green flag, Mike Knutson peeking low. Mike took a peek low there on the initial start, but Glenn shut the door. Mike's getting a peek inside again. Halverson gets a little tap from Ingram as they shoot down the backstretch. Glenn is there, but Mike is putting pressure on. Mike with a peek to the inside. Don't look now. Here comes the 51. He's not done with his brother yet.
Terry Halverson slipped back to 5th place.
Terry Halverson got hung up on the outside here. Mike taking another peek inside. Hector into 5th now. Halverson going the wrong way on the 1-way right now. The sparks coming out of the 2. Looks like something may have soured on the 2 car. He may have a tire going down. Mike taking another peek low. A big slide there out of Mike Knutson, though. Gave up the gap back to Glenn. Jason Wilson has the white flag in hand, and Glenn Knutson is coming to see it one more time around Wenatchee tonight. Does Mike have anything left for a last gas down the backstretch? 3 in a row. The hottest driver in the Northwest does it again. Glenn Knutson wins the Wenatchee season opener.
Congratulations, Glenn. How does that feel?
I wish the fans could be here, but it's a pretty awesome race. I got to race my brother Mike hard and Terry Halverson. It was a fun race, a lot of work.
So you guys get a reset there with 5 laps to go. You got your brother right behind you. He pushed you pretty hard, didn't he?
You know, this whole class, the field is just really stout. So just anyone could be really stout. I got to thank Jerry's Auto Supply, class sponsor, all the WVSO sponsors, the fans. We wish you could be here, but we know we will be soon.
You got a green thumb right now. How do you keep pulling off these wins?
You know, this would be 5 in a row. I don't know.
Get a little bath from the brother. A little brotherly love there.
I got to thank all the guys, my brothers, Garrett Evans, just everyone that's helped me out.
Good to see racing again, yeah. So, for the first time in a long time, we have the Les Schwab scoreboard. We can show you. Let's get to it from Saturday night. The final results, first of all, from the Plum Perfect Road Runners, John Doyle. First place, Alberto Navarrete. Finished in second, Kyle Lahr. Third, Seth Fraser set the fast time and was also the winner in the Dix Heating and Air Conditioning Thunder Cars. Terry Osborne second, Mike Knutson third. 13-year-old Allie Mae Jones of Puyallup won the Bandoleros main event, followed by Cannon DeLong second, Jordan Mullins third. And of course, the big event, the 75 lap main event at the Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late Models. Glenn Knutson, as you just saw, grabbed the checkered flag. His brother Michael second, Josh Ingram third. So after a weekend away for the holiday this weekend, racing returns to the WVSO on July 11th. You'll have it's the North Valley Mechanical Night. You'll have the Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late Models again, the Mountain Dew Junior Late Models, the Dix Heating and Air Conditioning Thunder Cars, the Plum Perfect Road Runners, the Northwest Vintage Modifieds, and the Dwarf Cars. Don't know if Sleepy will be there. It looks for now that it'll be another race without fans. We don't know yet, but we've been talking to our friends at the WVSO to see if we're going to be broadcasting that race. We'll have a firm answer on that, we hope, by the end of the day today or maybe tomorrow. And finally, we can talk a little baseball. The Mariners have set their 60-man roster as training camp resumes at T-Mobile Park. On Wednesday, the roster excludes injured outfielder Mitch Haniger, who was put on the 45-day injured list as he recovers from back surgery. The 60 invited players arriving in Seattle, of course, you have to pass the COVID-19 test, and then they report to training camp, as it were, at T-Mobile Park on Wednesday the 1st. And those are some of the games that people are playing on this Monday. 3 obscure holidays to choose from. National Almond Butter Crunch Day. No, not a big fan of that. National Waffle Iron Day. I prefer waffles to waffle irons. I like the end result. But no, today is National Camera Day. So everything comes into focus today on this June 29th when we recognize National Camera Day. I don't know why. It's not George Eastman's birthday. He's the one who popularized the camera. I don't know why it happens to be today. Of course, before the camera, you had to draw stuff or paint stuff, and then along came the camera. Of course, the first cameras, large, bulky, very expensive, and now, of course, we have today's digital cameras, which are incredibly easy to use. Even idiots like me can take a decent picture. How many digital photographs are taken each year? According to Business Insider, their best estimate is over 1.2 trillion digital photos are taken every year. By the way, the very first digital camera to be sold commercially came out in Japan. It was invented by Fuji. It was available for sale for the Christmas season of 1989 at the retail cost of $13,000 for a digital camera. They don't cost that much anymore. I mean, if there's one invention really in the last 25 or 30 years that has revolutionized everything, is the idea of digital cameras. Anybody can take a high quality photo and you don't have to know what you're doing. So get out your JPEGs and your MPEGs and your SD cards and click away. It is National Camera Day today on the 29th of June. All right, bottom of the hour. People started to pay attention to Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak right about now, back in 1941. In fact, it was a doubleheader at Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C. on June 29, 1941. Joe DiMaggio tied and then broke the American League record for consecutive games with at least one base hit. The record was 41, set by George Sisler. He got number 41 in the first game. He got number 42 with a seventh-inning base hit against Walt Masterson in the second game. And for the Yankee Clipper, he had the American League record all to himself at 42. We'll be keeping a close eye on this. Happy 64th birthday to the Interstate Highway System. There it is. 64 years ago today, June 29, 1956, President Dwight David Eisenhower signs the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956 And away we went. When he was in Germany at the end of World War II, he was very impressed with how quickly German tanks and panzer divisions could move so rapidly because they had these big open autobahns. And Ike brought that idea back with him and said, we need this in the United States. So all 46,876 miles of the interstate highway system. I got fun facts about the interstate highway system. Each state owns its own portion. So even though it's a federal highway system, you know, the Washington State Patrol or whatever is the law enforcement agency for our highway system. So the states, not the federal government, is responsible for enforcing the traffic laws. And they also have to keep up their highways. They have to. They're responsible for repairing their section of the highway. The states set the speed limits, of course. It's always been the case. The big difference is when they had the big oil embargo in OPEC in the early 70s, and they lowered the federal speed limit to 55 miles an hour, for those of us who remember, and I'm certainly one of those. They go, wait a minute, we had a federal speed limit of 55 miles an hour. Well, the states could ignore it, but if they'd ignored it, they got no money from the federal government. They would lose their highway funding, and so they all went, okay, we'll take our 55 mile an hour speed limit because we want the money. The red, white, and blue shields used to designate interstate highways, those are actually copyrighted. They're trademarked by the American Association of State Highway Officials. I did not know that. The longest stretch, I-90, 3,020 miles from Boston, Massachusetts to Seattle, Washington. The shortest stretch on the interstate highway system is a little over 1.5 miles long in Laredo, Texas, and Fresno, California is the largest metropolitan area in the United States that is not served by the interstate highway system, which was born in this state 64 years ago today. And finally, department stores are not supposed to collapse, but 25 years ago today, one did, and it killed 501 people. It happened in 1995. The building was built in 1988 in downtown Seoul in anticipation of all the tourists coming to Seoul for the 1988 Olympics, and they just basically were building shops and malls and apartment complexes and hotels as fast as they could put them up, and so they kind of didn't build them the way they're supposed to build them. This building was doomed from the get-go, and it collapsed. It literally fell on top of itself. 501 people killed, nearly 1,000 injured when the Sampoong department store collapsed in Seoul, South Korea 25 years ago today. And finally, one celebrity birthday. It's an interesting celebrity birthday. It's a celebrity I actually met when they were in town filming the absolutely awful movie Surviving the Game. I got a chance to meet Gary Busey, who I've always liked and respected because he played Buddy Holly in the Buddy Holly story. In fact, he got an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor for the Buddy Holly story. Of course, Lethal Weapon, Point Break, Under Siege, The Firm. Gary Busey, who, by the way, is not all there, is 76 years old today. Somebody should probably tell him. We're going to take a break. We got a Mike Mignotti opinion you've never seen before. We got a bunch of brand new ones. We're talking about wearing a mask with Mike Mignotti, and then Dr. Malcolm Butler from Columbia Valley Community Health and the Chelan Douglas Health District sat down with Jefferson Robbins and his subject, wearing a mask. They're both coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today, 509-663-1710.
Pass along a smile today. Buy a box of chocolates for a friend or for yourself from Chocolat. Order online and pick up locally, or Chocolat ships almost anywhere. For your cheesy cravings, the Cheesemonger shop is open. Call ahead, stop in, or order online and they will ship. Everyone say Cheesemonger shop. Sage Mountain Natural Foods in Delhi and Leavenworth is open for all your nutritional needs, supplements, bulk foods, produce, and more. Call now for more information and hours of operation.
Oh baby, come on and say it now. Just let No calories, no sweeteners, all smiles. Bubbly, sparkling water. Crack a smile.
I have a hereditary bone disease from the female side of my family. My bone loss was so significant that you could almost see the roots. I became embarrassed and I started covering my mouth. Eating became very difficult as far as I stopped eating apples, corn on the cob, things that you just eat as it is without utensils. Dr. Divis was my dentist prior to having implants. We talked about traditional dentures or implants, and implants was the only way really that I could go. John Divis and all of his office staff, they checked on me throughout all the processes. I would never go anyplace else. Today, I can eat corn on the cob. I can have apples. Thanks to Dr. John Divis and his staff, I have my smile back. I feel more confident. I am me again.
This is John Divis. Let our team help you solve your dental needs.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, some folks have been protesting this coronavirus lockdown, and those who have been taking this virus threat seriously have been attacking some of those on social media, ridiculing them because they want to risk their lives, and others so they can golf or get a haircut. Okay, but what I said to someone recently was this. Had this lockdown happened to me years ago when me and my kids were younger, and both my wife and I worked, and suddenly we couldn't go to work and the kids had to be at home, we would have been in a lot of trouble. Now, I can understand the protest. For some, it's not just a matter of a haircut. It's a matter about your life. Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Welcome to another edition of Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table.
Outdoorsmen have been providing fresh food for American family tables for generations. Hunting and fishing is a way of life for our family, and we enjoy cooking delicious fish and game meals.
Oh, that's awesome.
We want to share our recipes with you. This is Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table.
Watch Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table Saturdays and Sundays at 5:30 and 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. on the NCW Life channel. JDSA Law is a proud sponsor of these local sports broadcasts. They've been serving North Central and Eastern Washington since 1946. For over 70 years, their team of dedicated professionals has delivered quality, innovative legal services. JDSA Law partners with you to provide the finest legal advice and support as you navigate your personal and business challenges, risks, and accomplishments. At JDSA Law, they salute our local athletes and wish them well on another excellent season of competition.
The world around us is constantly changing. Major employers in North Central Washington have expressed a need for capable, qualified engineering technologists who can think critically and solve problems. And at Wenatchee Valley College, we listened. We are pleased to offer a Bachelor of Applied Science Engineering Technology degree to provide you with a world of new opportunities. Your time is now. The future is waiting for you.
You've just recently published and promoted an op-ed, an editorial. It's appeared in the Wenatchee World called "It's the Air You Share," about the use of masking and its effectiveness in dealing with the COVID-19 crisis. Broadly speaking, in your own words, why should you and I are sitting here wearing masks? Why is that a good idea?
The COVID virus is different from the influenza virus.
So both of them are carried in droplets, but it turns out that the influenza virus tends to pass mostly in large droplets, which are fired out of your mouth or your nose if you cough or sneeze. They land on the table or the keyboard or on the cup you're drinking from, and then we touch them and carry them sort of back up to our mouth or our nose or our eyes. COVID is different. So it turns out, now we know, having looked at real life experiences of how the disease transmits, that it's something floating around in the air that seems to be important. There was a choir practice that happened in Bellingham, and 60 people in this choir all come together inside a small church, probably about the size of a volleyball court. One of them was positive. They didn't know that. Turns out one of them was positive. After a 2-hour choir practice where they're all singing and forcefully breathing and making noise, 2/3 of them walked out infected. Unbelievable. So it's sort of been this classic study of the super infector. So as you read about that and you read more and more about how COVID-19 works, we have now come to a better understanding. And what I'm here to tell you is that a mask is going to reduce the amount of virus which is floating around in the air that we share that's infecting other people.
Well, one thing about the evolution of our understanding of this pandemic has been, early on we heard the warnings, don't go flocking out to buy medical grade masks or industrial grade masks. Professionals need those. Let's keep them in the hospital or the doctor's environment.
Right.
And that's changed a little bit when we started to understand that cloth masks could be effective also. I'm wearing a cloth mask provided by my employer. Yours appears to be a little bit more medical grade.
Right.
So is there a distinct difference in what my mask can do versus what your mask can do to prevent the spread?
Right. So let me address both of those. It's hard also, I think, to remember that we've been on this pathway that's been evolving over the last few months. 2 months ago, we did not have enough PPE. We did not have enough masks. Where I work, Columbia Valley Community Health, we had to donate our PAPRs and our other high-tech protection to the hospital so that they could take care of patients. And throughout this period of time, our local emergency management group has been doling out PPE to the people who need it. So remember how it felt when we didn't have any PPE. That was scary. And at that time, people were saying, please, let's protect our nurses and our doctors that are taking care of the really sick people in the hospital. When those folks go into work, they know that every single person they're in contact with has the disease. It's not a question, right? So let's get it to them and keep them safe. The good news is, I think, it's gotten much better. The hospital has enough, my clinic has enough, the county has enough, nursing homes have enough. So we now have enough medical grade masks. What happened just this weekend, earlier this week, was the governor put out his new guidance that on Friday, everybody's got to wear masks all the time. Now we went from health professionals masking to now everybody masking, and that's a whole another order of magnitude. So the only way to accommodate that is with cloth masks. Another thing to appreciate is that a professional grade mask like I am wearing is designed to be thrown away after a single use. So this mask was designed so that if I go into the operating room or I go into a hospital room with a patient with tuberculosis, for example, when I walk out of the room, I throw it away. Now, we've all been using them for a lot longer than that, but they're not designed to hold up for days and weeks at a time. Cloth masks are, right? So to have a cloth mask which you can machine wash every day after you've been using it actually makes good sense when we think about masking the entirety of the population. It is for sure true that the mask I'm wearing now is more effective at trapping droplets than the mask you're wearing. This is also more effective at blocking things that I'm inhaling than what you're wearing. Even this mask, though, is not designed to do that. That's the N95 mask that you've seen. So what we need to do, Dr. Butler's opinion here, what we need to do is use the highest grade mask that we have access to that's not going to compromise the health of the folks who are working in the hospitals. In the governor's directive, he said don't wear professional medical grade masks, wear cloth masks. And I believe that's an attempt to preserve PPE for people who are working in first responders and healthcare and those sort of situations. However, It will work. That's why I'm wearing it, and I happen to have one because I work in a clinic, and this one's several days old now. And again, we're using it differently than they were designed to, but they seem to be effective in COVID-19.
Some statements that came to us on our Facebook page about the governor's mask mandate, I'd like you to address. Number one, there's the possibility for fungus or bacteria buildup if I'm wearing my mask, and that can be as unhealthy as contracting the virus.
Yeah.
What do you think about that statement?
Sorry, it makes me laugh. Okay, so this is over your nose and mouth. There is, if any of you have ever smelled fungus on cheese or bread, you would know immediately if it was inside your mask. The recommendation is that we're washing our masks every single day. That will take care of any fungus. It is true that in the annals of medicine, there are famous fungal infections that you can get by inhaling a fungus through your nose. I can tell you that in 30 years of practice here in Wenatchee, I have never ever run into a case of that. So I think the risk of that is incredibly small. And I don't want people to concern themselves with that. If you're concerning yourself with that, you are looking for excuses for reasons not to wear your mask.
Number two, wearing a mask can contribute to either a buildup of carbon dioxide from your breath, or it can lead to oxygen deprivation under certain circumstances.
A standard mask like you're wearing, like I'm wearing, these have been designed, at least mine has, for surgeons in operating rooms to wear for 8, 10, 12 hours at a time if they need to. My mask, should I be infected today, and I could be, I feel fine, but I could be, this mask is going to capture the big and the medium-sized droplets that are carrying virus away from me. The only thing that can escape through this are teeny, teeny, tiny droplets, and they're not very infectious. First, because they float all over the place, but second, because they don't carry many viruses within them. So they are effective, and they're designed to be worn all day. There has never, ever been a case of somebody having too much CO2 or too much oxygen because of this.
The governor's order with the Secretary of Health on mask wearing dictates what you and I are doing right now. We're in a closer environment than 6 feet. If we were further than 6 feet apart, these masks would not be required under the mandate. You've chosen to wear a mask as you walk about in public, and others have as well. One of the assertions circulating on social media is a little printed out, looks like a printed out placard that says, "I am exempt from the governor's regulation mandating face mask usage in public. Under the ADA and HIPAA, I am not required to disclose my medical conditions to you." People are seeing these online, printing them out, I'm assuming, carrying them with them as some kind of protection against the requirement for masking. What do you think about that?
You know, I think when we were in elementary school, we learned how to put our hand across our heart and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I think before a football game, we sing the national anthem. There are things we do in this country that are acts of patriotism and our national allegiance. Right now, I see wearing a mask that same way. Our government is asking us to do this. You may not agree with their politics, but it's coming from medical expertise of the highest level at the State Department of Health. If you are printing out a rationale not to wear a mask, that's on you, right? That's like refusing to say the Pledge of Allegiance. That's like refusing to sing the national anthem. You come up with any number of examples of what that's like. If it's hard for you to wear a mask, stay home. But if you're going to be out in public, you know, it's like smoking in a restaurant. It's not allowed, not because we're being fascist. It's not allowed because secondhand smoke causes cancer. So it's just keeping the people around you safe. It's an act of civility to do that. Wearing a mask is the same thing. It's an act of civility. So if you don't feel that you have any interest in protecting your fellow citizens, stay home. You don't need to print that out. Just don't go outside.
Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center serves Chelan and Douglas counties by providing mediation services and community education. Mediation is an effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to issues and can be a first step to reducing costly litigation. Mediation is used to settle workplace, business, family, neighbor, parenting, divorce, housing disputes, and more. Call 509-888-0957 or go online to wvdrc.org for more information.
This is Caitlin Hedershe, the producer of the NCW Life magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCW Life magazine right here on the NCW Life channel.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
What is it about Tipsy Canyon Winery that keeps people coming back? Is it the magnificent view from the hillside tasting room? Is it the exceptional but affordable wines? Or is it just the fact that you feel right at home from the minute you walk through the door? Actually, it's all this and more. Experience the Tipsy Canyon Winery located just outside of Manson. Your new home away from home.
And we are back on this Monday, 29th day of June, 2020. Just 2 more days left in June, and that's it. Come Wednesday, it is July 1st, and of course Saturday is Independence Day. And here in the Wenatchee Valley, we're one of only 2 places in the North Central Washington area that's actually going to have an outdoor big old fireworks display. Manson is one of them, and here in the Wenatchee Valley, as they will be setting off the fireworks at Walla Walla Point Park on Saturday night at right around 10 o'clock. Our cameras will be there, as we have been for the last number of years. We'll be setting up at the roof of the Town Toyota Center so we can get a nice view of the fireworks, and we're looking forward to that. So tune in for our broadcast on Saturday night. We'll take to the air about 15-20 minutes before the fireworks are scheduled to begin, which is shortly after 10 o'clock. In fact, the abbreviated Let's Have a Blast Independence Day party is going to be a topic of conversation you're going to hear about on this show for the next couple of days. I had a chance to sit down with Kelly Kennedy from Impact Events to talk about some of the changes that are going on. And, well, actually, there's a lot of changes going on. The one constant is going to be the fireworks display. We'll talk about that with Kelly Kennedy before this week is out. And also, I'll have a conversation with Captain Edgar Reinfeld of the Wenatchee Police Department to find out how the fine men in blue, and women in blue for that matter, are going to be handling the upcoming Independence Day weekend. Usually Saturdays are about the busiest day of the week for law enforcement. You pack that into a summer Saturday and then a holiday summer Saturday. On top of all that, we'll find out some of the challenges for law enforcement for the Wenatchee Police Department for the upcoming Independence Day holiday. We'll talk about that with Captain Edgar Reinfeld before this week is out as well. And again, our cameras will be there to telecast. If for whatever reason you can't physically watch the fireworks, our cameras will be there to bring it to you in high definition, courtesy with our friends at Coho Radio, who will be providing the audio feed. Of course, because of social distancing and the fact that the Walla Walla Point Park will be closed on Saturday. They're going to close at about 6 o'clock in the evening. That means no Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra. The Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra normally plays live at the park. They play the music to accompany the fireworks. That's obviously not going to happen this year. The fireworks music will be pre-produced, but it's going to be a heck of a show. We're looking forward to it. I just wanted to get that shop talk out of the way. All right, let's take you around the valley one more time with our Valley View cameras. Once again, the cross camera lets us see that we have a beautiful morning right now. 63 degrees, very little wind, wind out of the northwest, about 10 miles an hour. That's going to change. It's going to be breezy this morning, windy this afternoon. You can't seem to shake the wind. It was a cooler than normal weekend, too, by the way. A high of only 77 on Saturday. 74 was all we got to on Sunday. We're going to be a good 14 degrees above that for our afternoon high today. Again, details are coming up. Camera number 2, if I remember correctly, we were at Valley High, and we're back at Valley High, I believe. Now, that's a view I'm used to on our way up to Blewett Pass as the sun continues to climb. All the snow, of course, is gone from that area. You know, here we are. We're deep now into summertime. So, beautiful view from Valley High on your way up to Blewett Pass. Beautiful area up there. Just really, really nice. I can understand why people want to live in the Valley High area. It's pretty darn sweet. And it doesn't get very warm up there, too. It's quite pleasant when you get those higher elevations and you have more shadows and trees. Camera number 3, it's up to McNeil Canyon. We have moved that back to its normal position, normal being relative. That's the view I'm used to seeing, which, of course, is Lake Chelan, way off in the distance. And who's kidding who with the weather? And the weather, by the way, is supposed to be really nice on Independence Day on Saturday, if the forecast holds true, and right now it's looking good. You can better believe that Chelan will be hopping this weekend. Of course, the Independence Day, the holiday itself, is on a Saturday, so a lot of people will be taking 3-day weekends, or maybe even 4-day weekends, whether they take Friday off or Monday off. Well, that's up to you, I suppose, but Lake Chelan with the fireworks display in Manson will certainly be hopping with people coming up this weekend. Beautiful view from the top of McNeil Canyon, looking dead west to Lake Chelan. Camera number 3? Where are we, Megan? I've lost track of where we are. It must be that kind of day. Is that Blag Mountain again, Megan? That's Blag. Good morning to our friends in the Leavenworth area. It's good to see you. Again, as I mentioned before a couple of times during the newscast, Oktoberfest not going to happen this year. They made that announcement, so the first 3 weekends in October, when Leavenworth fills full of beer drinkers and people having a good time, there will be no Oktoberfest come October of this year. I hate to be the harbinger of bad news, but that is the case. Good morning to our friends in the Upper Valley. All right, we have a couple of slides to show you from the National Weather Service to let you know what we're up for today and the rest of the week. First of all, our highs today, as I mentioned before, considerably warmer, but we're still under the influence of a very deep trough of low pressure that visited over the weekend. That's why the weekend was so cool. But we're going to warm up big time today, about 87 or 88 degrees, and then it's going to go right back down again. And we're going to cool right back down again. And we are going to be dealing with windy conditions. Yep, can't seem to shake the wind. Today, tonight, Tuesday night, a little bit into Wednesday, we're looking at breezy conditions all over our viewing area. So we have windy conditions and, of course, any kind of fires that get going because the grasslands have been dried out pretty good with the warm temperatures and the windy conditions. Any kind of grass fires that get going can really take off. But we're not expecting any red flag warnings because we need 3 things to happen for a red flag warning. It's got to be really hot, got to be really windy, and we need to have low relative humidity. Well, it's not going to be hot enough, they don't think, to warrant a red flag warning. But if you're going to be out and about in area, lakes and rivers, watch out. The water could be a little choppy with the wind. All right, from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, who gives your home a hug, let's take a look at this point by point. For today, lots of sunshine, high of about 88 degrees. As I mentioned before, it's going to be breezy this morning, downright windy this afternoon, with gusts as high as 30 miles an hour at times this afternoon. Clear and 60 for the overnight low tonight, a residual wind, about 10 to 15 miles an hour expected tonight. More wind on Tuesday, and as you can see, a lot cooler. We're only going to get to about 79 or 80. That's below normal. In fact, our high Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all below normal with breezy conditions on Tuesday. A couple of passing clouds on Wednesday, but the winds will be dying down. And then a gradual warming trend Thursday through Friday through Saturday on Independence Day, and then Sunday will warm right back up again. Things are looking pretty good for the holiday weekend. In fact, as far as the forecast is concerned, for the holiday weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and really into Monday, you can't ask for anything better than that. Sunny and warm, but not hot, and no wind in the forecast. Hopefully this forecast will hold true so we can have a good and safe Independence Day weekend. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.